Hey guys, welcome to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to show you how you can prepare files, and more specifically, how you can prepare vector files, SVG graphics that you've downloaded from the internet, prepare them to import into Blender. Now, I've done this a couple of times in several other videos, and you guys keep asking me, how did you do this? How did you prepare it? And so that's exactly what we're going to do today. We're going to download some files from the internet. Open them up in Inkscape, prepare them, export as PNG and SVG, and then we're going to recreate this scene. This scene has some PNGs and it has some SVGs that we've downloaded from the internet, and I'm going to show you how to get it done. Inkscape is a free vector program that you can download, and it's free for Mac or Windows. So I'm using Mac, and I downloaded the Mac version, and I don't use Inkscape. I use Adobe Illustrator, and so I'm used to using Adobe Illustrator, but we're gonna do this in Inkscape. Inkscape is completely free. It's just like Blender. It's open source and it's free. So you could just go to inkscape.org and download it, install it on your computer, and then you can edit your vector images that you download from the internet. SVG graphics, download them, open them up in Inkscape, prepare them, and then import them into Blender. So let's get started, guys. First, obviously I had to download Inkscape and install it. We're going to recreate this scene. This scene has a couple of PNGs, the tower, the sky, and then this guy is an SVG. So I did go online, and I went to freepik.com, and I found this guy. This is the entire image. I downloaded it. And it's free. It's called Group of Young People. If you want to download it, you can go to freepik.com, Group of Young People Characters, and it's by Studio G Stock. I downloaded it, and it's vector, free vector. I do have a subscription. But these are free. A lot of them are free. And I also downloaded this background image. It's called Paris Landscape by Upcliak. I hope I pronounced that right, but it's called Paris Landscape. And it's also a vector, free vector. So I downloaded those two images to create this animation here with the moving clouds. And you can animate this character. It's got its body parts are separate, just like the video that we did on the walk cycle, the rigging tutorials. I'll leave the link in the description. And so you can animate this character by rigging it or parenting its body parts. The clouds are moving, and he's just enjoying himself sightseeing in Paris. So the first step is obviously to download these. I've got them downloaded. I just hit the download, and I've got them downloaded. And now I need to open them up in Inkscape. So if I go to my downloads folder, all I had to do is unzip them. And here they are. They're not SVGs, they're EPSs. Because they're vector files, they can take on either an AI, Adobe Illustrator format, or an EPS, that's encapsulated PostScript, or SVG, that's scalable vector graphics. And that's okay, they're all vector graphics. So all I did was I dragged this to Inkscape to open it up. Oh, here it is. I opened it up. Let me go ahead and drag the other one. This is the other one, 2081, that's the landscape. And it opens this up. What do you want to do? I say, okay, just open it. And it opens up in a new window. Here it is. And we're going to go ahead and prepare this file first. The first thing I need to do is separate the background, the sky, from the foreground. We have one layer. If I click on it, I can tell that it's grouped. If I go under Object, I can see Group, Ungroup, Command Option, or Shift Command G. So Just wait to let it do its things. There it is, ungrouped. And so I'm going to, there we go. Control scroll wheel zooms in and out. And so I am going to select all of the elements for the sky. Here. Shift select all of them. Here. Plus this, plus that, plus this, this, plus this, this, and I believe that's all of them. So Command X to cut. There we go. And I'm going to do a new layer. I'm going to call it sky. And in this sky, I'm going to turn off this one. In fact, I'm going to lock it so I don't paste it on this one. I'm just going to paste it Command V. And then move it into place. Boom, there it is. And I notice that this is still here. We're going to try to get rid of this one. I'm going to select it. Command Shift G. Command Shift G to ungroup. And I think just by ungrouping it did the trick. So let's bring this back up, and you can see that it's behind now. So all we have to do is, first of all, let's rename it. We'll call this foreground. And then we'll put it on top of the sky. And then and that's basically it. All I did was grab all the sky, put it in its own layer, and then grab the foreground and put it in its own layer, or leave it in its own layer. So let's go ahead and select all of the sky elements and do edit. Let's go export PNG. We're going to export the selection. Since we have it selected, we're going to export the selection. Hit export as. Go to the desktop. Find that Paris folder, and then we're going to call it sky2.png. Hit save, and we haven't saved anything. We just saved the name and the location, and then hit export. Okay, let's bring in that folder, and you can see that it's right there. Boom, right there. And so there's the sky, and I had done it already, so there's 2 copies. So let's go ahead and get that done for the other one. The other one is in the other. I'm going to turn this one off, turn this one on, and then select everything. Oh, it's locked. Boom, unlock it. Select everything. Hit export PNG. We get the export dialog box. Export as. Let's save this one as foreground 2. Foreground 2, just like we did the sky 2. And of course it's in the desktop in the Paris folder. I'm cool with that. Save. Again, we haven't saved anything. Hit export. Boom, there it is. Foreground 2 and sky 2. Cool. That's the first part. Guys, this is a complicated illustration. It's got a lot of gradients. It's got a lot of strokes and gradients and transfer functions and all that stuff. And one thing that Blender doesn't allow you to import, well, actually several things. Number one, it doesn't allow you to import any gradients. For example, these gradients that you see here in these bushes, you cannot import them as an SVG. So that's why I'm doing it as a PNG. You cannot export gradients. You cannot import into Blender any strokes. They have to be outlined. And you can't import any blending modes. For example, if this blending mode is at a multiply or add or any of this, it won't import that, and it'll just import the solid. It'll give it a gray solid color, and it won't import gradients, strokes, blending modes, or transparencies. So everything that must be solids in order for you to import as an SVG. That's why I'm doing it as a PNG. As a PNG, all of this will be transparent, and all of this will retain everything, gradients, paths, blending modes, anything. Not a big deal. It's a PNG, it's a raster image. So moving on to the next, this one. I'm gonna get rid of, if I click on it, you notice that it's also grouped. So let's ungroup it. Let's get rid of these two, delete. Let's get rid of these two, delete. Let's get rid of this one, delete. That one, delete. There's a white background, delete. And then we'll get rid of this, delete. Select all of it. You don't have to do this, but I'm gonna center it. And now we can export this. And really not even export. This is just a save as, because in Illustrator, we had to export it. SVG is not Illustrator's, Adobe Illustrator's native format, but it is native to Inkscape. So you can save it as an SVG. We'll just call this guy 2. Guy 2. We'll go to the desktop, Paris folder. This will be guy 2 SVG, save. And there he is, guy 2. So now let's jump into, I'm gonna close this, and let's jump into Blender. Let's start up a new 2D animation project. Don't save. Zoom out. And let's start importing the stuff in. We don't import PNGs. We go to object mode and we add an image as planes. If you don't see this image as planes, guys, you have to go to edit, preferences, and then in the preferences, add-ons, type images, image, and then make sure that this is clicked on, import images as planes. Mine is already checked on. That's why I see it. Here it is, image as planes. Let's go to the desktop, Paris folder. Let's do the sky first, the sky 2. Boom, there it is. All I have to do is scale it. Let's import another one, add images as planes. And let's desktop, Paris, foreground 2. Scale it and move it. That's the second part. Third part, let's import the guy. This one we're not going to import as because he's not a PNG. We don't import as images as planes. We're going to actually import as a scalable vector graphic. And I've already done a video on this, guys. You can check out the video on importing SVGs. Let's go to the desktop, Paris, guy 2, boom, import. And he's there, but he's tiny and he's facing up. So in fact, I'm gonna hit period so we can see him, zoom in, and I'm going to, oh, I can't even see him. There he is. I couldn't see him, but there he is. I'm going to grab all his paths and hit 0. Rotate on the X 90 degrees. And there he is. And then I'm going to scale. In fact, I could just hit S. Hit scale. And another thing I'm going to do is I'm going to center all of the origin points. Go to Object, Set Origin, origin to geometry. That's why we have everything, all the origins in their proper geometry. So I'm going to move this guy. Go back to render view. And I'm going to move him right here on the floor, like he's sitting in the foreground, or he's standing in the foreground looking at the Eiffel Tower in the background. And you don't see him because he's kind of inside this image. So all we have to do is push him to the foreground to see him. And we get a little surprise. The stacking order of these elements is off. How do we fix that? We just have to start moving these elements around, guys. Not a big deal. Let me start pushing in his shirt forward. You can see that that fixed that. This sleeve, I'm going to push him forward. In fact, the sleeve, the arm, this arm, and oops, we didn't bring in, yeah, there it is. I didn't see it there for a minute. All these elements, we're going to push them forward. There we go. Oops. It's a little hard to see that green, the Y axis. And let's push this one a little bit forward like that. And he's looking a little bit better. Now let's push this one back. And then let's work on the face. Grab this, grab that, and this. And let's push all these back. And let's grab all the hair and push it forward, including the beard. Let's push all of this forward. There we go. Let's grab the ear, push it a little bit further. And there we have it, guys. We've got the guy. I mean, that's kind of one of the things that you have to work through, is that stacking order from Inkscape comes in off. And I'm not sure how to fix that so that it comes in correctly. If you guys know, please write it down in the comment section. Please let me know. And I can make a video of that later. But anyways, here's how you just fix it. You just push the elements either forward or backward, and there we go. The only other thing I did, guys, I selected this. I created, let me turn on auto keyframe. Hit I to create a keyframe right there on the location. And whoa, I don't see a keyframe. It's because, remember guys, this is not a timeline for tweening. This is just a dope sheet. The real timeline is right here. There's my keyframe. I'll go all the way over here, push it there, and it automatically creates a keyframe. And hit play, and we're done. That was a lot of stuff, guys. We went from downloading vector files from the internet, importing them into Inkscape. Inkscape is a vector graphics program, preparing them for import in Blender, exporting them out of Inkscape, importing them into Blender, and then finally animating. That's sometimes what you have to do to create an animation. And you don't even have to do any of this. You can draw all of this stuff in Blender. Everything you can do in Blender. I just do that to save time in drawing. Sometimes I don't know, I'm not that good of an artist, and so I'd rather just download some stuff easy, bring it into Blender and animate it. Hey guys, I hope that this has been helpful, and I hope that you liked it. If you like it, go ahead and hit the like button. That helps out the channel, guys, and subscribe, and I will see you on the next one. Thank you, guys.